Today I'm going to show you the original Game Boy hardware, or the DMG model. It has super clicky buttons, a D-pad, B and A, and funny enough the start and select buttons are made of like a rubbery material. Yeah, this model was one of the first handhelds in the world really to make it big time in terms of sales. It was typical to run out of battery power. You had to power it by 4 AA batteries. You could get an AC adapter. Along the side here you had multiplayer, so you could actually hook up 2 Game Boys with a cable, much like this cable here. Instant LAN, and you could play versus Tetris and a few other games in multiplayer. The console itself is 8-bit. It's got a dot matrix screen, which you can't, it's not backlit. So typically you'd have to play it in good sunlight or buy an accessory like a light, Game Boy light or something like that. Let me get out Metroid 2. A lot of the games you could get these cases for to keep them dust free, obviously they're cartridge. The game slot in the back. And when you turn it on, here's the on switch, it actually locks the cartridge in place. So you see that little plastic bit coming up there. Turn the volume up. Volume's good. Speakers over here, mono sound. You can see this is Metroid Return of Samus. Rudimentary graphics, obviously you're just getting the dot matrix, one color. Under good light, easy to see. And the battery runs flat. Okay, we had a bit of a technicality obviously with the flat batteries, proving my point that you had to keep this thing juiced up. It could only last a couple of hours and then you'd go through your 4 AA batteries. The important thing with the Game Boy is actually the feel of the console. Nintendo got this right in terms of your 2 thumbs controlling the face buttons. There were no triggers or anything else fancy on the side other than a headphone jack, which you could plug in your 3mm headphone. But the solid build, it felt like a brick. You could drop this thing and it would carry on playing. And the weight too. I guess once you've got the batteries in, it's not too bad to carry, and you could probably just fit in your jeans pocket depending on how big your jeans are. So lots of many hours of fun with this console. It feels great. Not the best handheld to hold, but for its time I think it was way ahead of other things on the market. I forgot to mention previously that the contrast, you obviously move the contrast like this, and that's the Game Boy. I've got to go find some more batteries before I can carry on filming clips like this for you guys. But yeah, fun console. I think Tetris and Home Alone and Donkey Kong, some of my favorites to play. Home Alone wasn't a fantastic game, but you're a kid at the time. Tetris, obviously super addictive and still good these days, and an evergreen title, so to speak. But yeah, for size comparison, if I put a micro up to it, it's I'll do another clip on the micro, I think. But yeah, comfort-wise, how does it feel? Feels good. Feels old, feels solid. Doesn't feel cheap. Feels in between cheap and expensive, but there's actually a nice finish on the plastic. It's not quite 100% smooth. It's sort of got a textured plastic feel.